look at it from that perspective. You're going into a setting. It's a contained setting, just like an airplane, and you're going to sit next to someone, and you're just going to talk, and you're going to see what happens.
So often we and there are a lot of exercises that I've done with that. We say something, and then we realize that's really not what I said. And it's not what I meant. And that whole conversation can go, and in the case that I've been involved with, it came down to, do you love me? Do you care for me? Are we good? All right. Do we care for each other? Is this working? And so often when we get anxious, we need to get secure and figure out how to help ourselves.
And those moments that we're feeling like the anxiety is taking over us is because we're trying to control something that maybe we can't, or the anxiety is trying to control this, and we need to just ground ourselves. Right.
Let's talk about Thanksgiving. We know that that's when a lot of families get together. There are 1,000 jokes about it, all right? Please don't feed your dogs the food, all right? It's a busy day for the vets and the plumbers. But putting that aside, so often that family gets together, and you got crazy Uncle Joe that's over there, and you have the squabbling about whatever it is. So for the person that's a little anxious, that can really exaggerate that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and so for me, you gave me some great advice before I got in here. Just breathe, okay? And rather than say, oh my gosh, I have to deal with this uncle again, or acknowledge it. Yes, Uncle so-and-so is going to say something that's inappropriate. Aunt so-and-so is going to complain about this. My mom, my dad, acknowledge the things that irritate you, and then allow yourself at the dinner table this year, when it happens, to say, check, I knew it, and see what happens. That might change your entire perspective.
We know frequently with so many digital and electronic changes going on, you could be standing or sitting at your computer and you can't figure it out. I can't tell you how many times I just go, ugh, all right? And it's like, it got me, all right? And I've learned to accept, you can't figure this out. Go find somebody else that can help you get that done. And Rachel's over there going, I think I've heard him a couple times over there. So, so often with all these changes that are going digitally, people have lost that connection, and they're seeking, on how to do better. So let's talk about the little kids that are on their phones this big. We see it all the time, right? So suggestions for mom and dad and their family about digital equipment, phones, iPads.
I know with my little one, we have a parent control on the iPad where it's on for a certain amount of time, and then the screen just goes dark and tells him that he's run out of time. So we kind of limit how much time he's spending on each of his apps. That's something that we do. We try Monday through Friday to not have any screen time, where it's just like us time, and then on the weekends he gets it. But it's more of like finding the schedule that works with your family, and also reminding ourselves that they need to play and socialize with others. That's not on the electronic.
When my son was about this big, he wouldn't go out and play. He was when the computer's this big. I got so frustrated. I just took the whole computer, I threw it on the ground. We wind up at a therapist, and he says, no, that's his place where he goes. But the playing stuff had already stopped at that point. They would take their computers, they would actually, that was in the old days, they would sit across from each other and play games. I go, what kind of world is this? Don't you get on your bike and go to, no, Dad, that's gone. Who knew we'd be making his living, years later doing that. But for the parents wondering about how to interact and how to keep their kids happy, we're not quite sure what to do. Yes. So what do we do as parents in trying to navigate their growth and their desire to stay current? What do we do?
For me, it's important for you to have that time. Allocation of time is important so that there is that balance. And then I would tell the parents to find different activities or games that they can all use on the devices. So I know that during the holiday season, there's these things you can use on your phone, and it's almost like it has like the name of something and you have to act it out, kind of like charades, but on the phone. use the device so that it's not always, the children are not always thinking you're against the device.
Sometimes we'll do family game night, and instead of doing a board game, we'll do it on the Nintendo Switch where we're all playing like a Mario game together. So it still brings us together into their world, because one thing parents must remember to do is enter their child's world, because you want to be also their friend. So even though I don't know what I'm doing and I always lose, I still show up and I still try to play just to see what it's like to be them, just to be a kid again in their world.
So I take a grandson over to Target, and we go on the weekends, and I give him a $25 limit. So he's pricing out the stuff, and he goes, I see him, he's looking at something that was $40. He's, Grandpa, I get $25? And I said, yes, sir. He looks at the one, he's pointing to it. Grandpa, can I get an advance on next week?
I love that.
I go, you must be talking to your father, for God's sake. So one of the things...
I love that about them.
It was really
So
great. I'm very proud of them to be able to be bold enough to say that. So often we have mentors and people that have helped us along our journey. I'm going to ask Dr. Clark, if you could look over in this camera over here, the blue one right there, Rochelle's going, okay. And then tell us about some of the mentors you've had. If you want to mention by name, that would be great. Mm-hmm. If they're here or they've already passed, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Because there's some little girl that's looking at you thinking, I want to be like her, but I want to know that she's real. Mm-hmm. So look right in that camera. There you go. You're on.
Okay, so
and you're next.
So of course my mom is a big mentor for me. She went back to college when I was a teenager, despite my dad not really wanting her to do that. And so I thought that was pretty awesome. In terms of going back to school, I went back in my 30s. And so Dr. Tommy Boyd is very instrumental for me. There's also a gentleman by the name of Alan Leveille that's a mentor for me. In terms of really trying to follow what my destiny is. And someone who's passed, his name is Rabbi Ira, and he was significant to me in terms of like my overall spiritual journey.
Wonderful.
Okay, wow. You know how to end the show. So for me, definitely my mom, absolutely my mom. She is the foundation that guides me daily. So definitely my mom, my dad, my boys. My boys, and I include my husband in my boys because it's the four of us, that kind of sticks it out through each day. And of course, my friends, my close friends, my cousins. Thank you all for just being supportive in there and listening to my stories when I need them.
So, Doctor, thank you very much for being here. And for you as well.
Thank you.
Congratulations. People want to find out more about you. They can go to blisstherapy.me.
.me, exactly, because therapy is all about me, about self. So blisstherapy.me if you need to get a hold of me. And then for Dr. Clark, your information.
Yeah, you can just reach out. I'm either on Nova Southeastern University's website or newleafstrategy.com.
Why might you be there?
Why might you be there? Oh, because I'm a professor there.
Oh, okay. And you happened to mention a rabbi. I was fortunate to be able to be talking with Manis Friedman, who's the #1 YouTube rabbi. Is that right here? So I said, Rabbi, I had a moment of intimacy with my wife. I want to know how I can have more. And then he said, Michael, remember, it's all about them. And as well as this. Ladies, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And Rochelle, thank you very much for producing the show again, folks.